Cuba, not promote the cause of freedom and democracy. When asked if he agreed with it, he said he did. There you go. So clearly he doesn't know. Well, he's kind of like Louis. Well, moving on today, the former UC Berkeley students are suing the university for mishandling sexual assaults. How do you mishandle a sexual assault? Well, I guess if you grab her from the rear? No.
Yes.
How do you... That doesn't make any sense. What the hell is that? Well, the attorneys announced today at a press conference in Emeryville, California, that 3 women filed a lawsuit against the University of California, Berkeley for mishandling of their prospective sexual assault cases. Yes, USA Today College typically does not identify sexual assault victims by name, but the former Berkeley students Sophia Karasek, Ariel Butler, and Nicoletta Cummins publicly identified themselves at the news conference today. Their lawsuit, which is for gender discrimination... gender discrimination, negligence, and fraud.
Yes.
That's sexual assault now? Well, it marks the first time UC Berkeley has faced legal action regarding its policies, according to the BuzzFeed report. Karasek said she was assaulted at UC Berkeley event in 2012. Karasek, now 22, claims in the lawsuit that she awoke at 3 a.m. to a man touching her after attending the California Democratic Party convention for the Cal Berkeley Democrats. Touching her where? Give us details. In the lawsuit, Karasek said the steps for officially filing a complaint at the university Title IX office against her assailant were never clearly communicated to her. As a result, she said she was unable to properly file a complaint until several months after her alleged attack. I'm frustrated, I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm disappointed, Karasek said at the press conference. Well, you know what, Karasek, so am I. And, this gay marriage thing, it's got to... Back in September of 2013, after almost a year of contacting the Center for Student Conduct for information on the action taken against her alleged assailant, Karasek said the Title IX office told her that he had been placed on disciplinary probation for touching her. At no time was I included in an investigatory process, nor was I given the opportunity to tell my side of the story at the hearing, Karasek said, which is, I guess, why we don't have the details about where he touched her. Well, Berkeley will tell you it's doing better now. It's not, she said. Soon after her alleged assault, Karasek co-founded End Rape on Campus. Yes, of course, that's an organization that provides support to the resources for sexual assault victims. And then there's the group I started, which is Rape on Campus. Yes, it's an organization that believes the dirty little drunk girls deserved it. Well, Butler, the second plaintiff in the case, said that the lawsuit she was also assaulted back in 2012 while working under a UC Berkeley contract in Alaska as an assistant to a PhD candidate. The now 21-year-old said a guest lecturer groped and touched her inappropriately on 3 separate occasions. Butler said she later reported the incident to UC Berkeley's Title IX department. But during a meeting with the Title IX coordinator, Butler said that she was admonished for not rebuffing her assailant's alleged advances. Yeah, right, because, when you grab her boobies or her, no-no place,
yes.
She goes, oh, yeah. I'd be like him. I'd do it again. Yeah. Well, the Title IX coordinator then asked how her assailant was supposed to know his contact was not welcomed if Butler never affirmatively denied consent, the lawsuit reads. According to Butler, who previously worked with End Rape on campus, no disciplinary action has been taken against her alleged assailant. As Commons, the third plaintiff, said she invited a male student whom she knew from Taekwondo into her apartment in early 2012, where he then allegedly sexually assaulted her. Cummins said she reported the assault to Tang Student Health Center at Berkeley the next day, which, according to the lawsuit, completed a hasty examination. Ooh, let's check this out. Cummins said she reported the assault to the Berkeley Police Department and had a rape kit performed at the Highland Hospital in Oakland, where she said evidence of trauma was revealed. Or a good dinkin'. Cummins said the Office of Student Conduct asked her if she would pursue an investigation. Although she said she was interested, she said she was never contacted again. According to the lawsuit, her assailant has been suspended for the past year and a half and plans to return to campus this fall. Well, in the weeks and months following the lawsuit, I was in full anger, doubt, confusion, and shame, Cummins said at the press conference. Someone who is convicted of this type of crime should not be allowed to return to school. He hasn't been convicted.
Hi, I'm Gil Fulbright. The people that run my campaign, they've made this commercial, and I'm in it. This campaign, it's not about me. It's about crafting a version of me that'll appeal to you. A version that visits random work sites with paid actors pointing at things. A version of me that doesn't find old people loathsome or pointless. Has a conventionally attractive yet curiously still family. Listening to my constituents, legislating, these are things I don't do. What I do is spend about 70% of my time raising funds for re-election. I'd do anything to stay in office. My name's Gil Fulbright, but hell, I'll change my name to Phil Goldbright or Bill Fulbright or fill up my mouth with farts. These are the things that are important to me. And these are the fine people that finance my campaign. Now, in order to do these things, I have to stay in office. And to stay in office, I have to keep these guys happy. Now, if any of these things make these guys unhappy, well, my hands are tied. So come November, the choice is clear. Do you want another spineless mouthpiece for special interest in lobbyists? Or a spineless mouthpiece for special interest in lobbyists? I'm Philip a Mouth with Farts, and I approve this message.
Responding to sexual assault cases, well, what do you got to know? Seriously. He touched you? Well, let's go investigate this, and if he did, kill him, and if he didn't, well, have fun. Apparently, the universities, according to the audit, need to do more to educate students on sexual violence, as well as inform and update the students who have filed sexual assault complaints on the status of their respective cases. Your case is still being investigated. Next year, well, your case is still being investigated. Next year, well, your case is still being investigated. And when you finally retire, well, your case is still being investigated. Well, the university should do more, of course, to demonstrate to students who may have experienced sexual harassment or sexual violence, are informed of their reporting options and what is all the what do kids graduate high school and magically go into university and all of a sudden don't know how to call the police? Now, seriously, if you're getting sexually assaulted in a university in this country, why the hell aren't you calling 911? Seriously, these women are dicking around at the office that hands out student IDs.
You know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawless.
I'm glad you care. Yeah. And you know, there is more to the story, but I'm not going to read it because these women deserve everything they get. Well, and finally today, our final story on the big show today. Of course, you know, I know I've gone for an hour and a half now, and I really haven't given anybody any good, happy stories. But now, of course, I'm finishing up the whole slam dam here with one hell of a fun story. I am. No, you'll like this, Gilbert. It's actually the story of the birth of Robin Hood.
Yes.
That's right. A woman rescued after giving birth in a forest. In Oroville, California, authorities rescued a woman and her newborn baby after her family says she gave birth in a remote national forest in Northern California. U.S. Forest Service spokesman Chris French said today that the helicopter pilot responding to a bushfire spotted the mother and the infant. Rescue workers on the ground whisked the pair to safety, and they were taken to a hospital, French said. French said the cause of the fire is under investigation. I cannot confirm the day of birth beyond what she reported to us, that she's been there for 3 days, French said. Also, her statement to us was that she gave birth in her vehicle within the forest. We did not witness the birth, he says. Amber Hood, 35, was released from hospital today. Her mother said the infant Robin, yeah, there you go, Robin Hood. Yes, Robin remains at the University of California Davis Medical Center. The medical center didn't return our call inquiring about the infant's condition. And Diana Williams said the baby is doing great, whoever the hell Diana Williams is. Yes, Williams said that the infant weighs about 4 pounds. Williams said that Hood underwent gastric bypass surgery before the birth, a procedure that sometimes results in the birth of underweight little Hoods. Well, according to Hood's mother, her daughter was 9 months pregnant and decided to visit an Oroville casino Wednesday and walk around in an attempt to induce labor. Guess that worked. Yeah. Well, somehow, she, left the casino area and ended up in a remote road in the national forest and, of course, promptly ran out of gas. Well, there was no mobile phone reception, Williams said. Oroville is about 80 miles south of Sacramento. Williams said her daughter told her that she went into labor early Thursday morning. What, like last week? Apparently unrolled a sleeping bag and gave birth in her car's back seat. Williams said that Hood spent the next 2 days swatting away bees and insects, fearful of bear attacks. His mother and daughter survived on water and apples, Williams said. Yeah. On Saturday, Williams said that Hood used a lighter and a can of hairspray and a can of oil to start a signal fire with the sleeping bag. Yeah, she is smart and tough, Williams said. I'm relieved it turned out all right. Yes, French of the Forest Service said that the fire burned about 1/4 of an acre before it was extinguished, so it's not really that big of a deal. Oh, boy. Well, there you go. That is your coffee and cigarettes today at the Wednesday Grinder. Hope it's helped your hump day get a little easier or something.
That was a mistake on my part.
Right. Well, just don't call in tomorrow, jerk.
The cute's alright, isn't it? You got a lot of stuff here with back and it's really good, eh? It's alright. My name's Keith and I've got the cigarettes and the coffee and we're ready to go.
Well, if you couldn't make sense of that, you're probably not the only one. I didn't even know what the hell I was saying. That's right, that was my official Keith Richards impersonation after being gone for a week partying in Atlantic City. That's right. You're well tanned and, well, a couple of $1,000s poorer gambling man. Yes, has returned from the bowels, if you will. Yes, the very depths of Atlantic City. I did have to sell my children into prostitution, but hey, things have to be done when financial needs arise. There you go. I'm going to stick to that. Welcome. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk. Your coffee and cigarettes, 3 p.m. Eastern, right now in the big city, New York. And we got a show for you today. Yes, we are. The stories that matter to you, of course. Yes, today, can Subway and Jared repair the damage? And reports today indicate the ISIL leader in Afghanistan was killed in U.S. drone strikes. Haven't we heard that before? Yeah, the last guy looked like Cartman, remember? Now, also today, several big U.S. cities see homicide rates surge as John Kerry says tough issues remain for the Iran nuke deal. And as if that all weren't enough, we've also got news about the Charleston shooting. Yes, the aftermath. Yale students now petitioning to rename Calhoun College. And Obama lawmakers brace for the endgame of Iran talks. Sudden deaths of 18 bison. U.S. House pulls over Confederate flag flap. All that and so much more today, gang. So, hey, come on in and grab yourself a cup, have a seat, and light one up. It is coffee time. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it may be to you. Right now to us at New York City, 3:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got the coffee and cigarettes rolling for you, as always. Well, okay. Not the last week or so, but hey, you know, everybody gets a break, right? No? Yeah, I think we deserved one. And it was fun. And, of course, Jenny is now pregnant. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, but I'm sure that Latin lover tried his best, the little bastard. Yeah. Yes, of course, the one, the only Jenny McCartney in the booth today, pushing the buttons, making the show go today for you. Yes, the former social media goddess herself. And, of course, she's pushing the buttons on that PreSonus 2442 digital broadcast mixer from PreSonus.com. If you're into audio, professional or otherwise, digital or analog, you want to get over to PreSonus.com, check out what they got, because they got the best. Also, this show is brought to you by the fine folks at Tim Hortons, New York City. That's right, now with those 8 fine locations in the city to serve all of your coffee and baked goods needs. And, of course, Jenny has made sure I have my fresh cup of dark roast right here. Tim Hortons, baby. Always fresh. Well, welcome back to the show. It's been a week. We've been out there, buying and selling and giving away money because it's fun or something. Apparently, that's the psychology behind Atlantic City. I would warn everybody never to go there, but that's my official warning for today. What's missing? Well, there's a lot of things missing. Number one thing missing, of course, is the one, the only Louis Lawless, all the way from Millbay Studios in beautiful downtown Millbay, British Columbia, Canada. Are you there, sir?
That was a mistake on my part.
Well, okay, but you're here. You know,
we're 5 steps away from winning the Academy Award.
Right.
And we didn't.
No, which is, of course, again, why you're here.
Oh, can we cuss? Can I cuss as I always do on the show?
You go right ahead. As I tell you, every single episode, Jenny has got the 20-second delay beep button for you. Fill your boots.
It's about fucking time. Move on. Oh,
there you go. Thank you for being here again. And also, hope you all had a happy 4th of July holiday. And, of course, you, Louie, hope you had a happy 1st of July holiday. Of course, that's the national holiday in Canada. I guess, they got to be different, Oh, well, the Americans have it on the 4th. Well, we'll have it on the 1st. It'll be before them. We win.
You being Catholic, you realize that you can have birth control. You realize that?
Well, thank you for that update, Louis, all the way from Millbay there. That's great, and we'll get back to that report a little later.
It's about fucking time. Move on.
Well, moving on today, of course. Yes, from about 8 blocks down the street here in New York City is the one, the only Gilbert Gottfried, live from his tiny, weeny little studio apartment in Manhattan, and it's too small. It really it is, and I think what we're going to do in this summer here now, I think we're going to have an event for you. It's going to be a Gilbert Gottfried Get Him a Bigger Apartment telethon.
Yes.
That's what we're going to do. We'll get you into a bigger apartment. Maybe Dara can actually have a room to herself. Keep her chained up in the kitchen. Yeah. It'll be a good day. Yeah.
I'm ready.
Good. All right. We've got you chained up and ready to go too. Okay. Well, moving on today, we've got a lot of stories to cover, of course.
Yes.
I guess, we haven't done anything in a week for the listeners, and so now we got to catch the hell up. And, do we have stories to catch the hell up? Mm-hmm. We do.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for agreeing.
Yes.
Well, moving on today, we do need to get on with the stories, but before that, we do have some new news.
Yes.
Yes, we do have new news. Normally, after the first commercial break, we go to our NAACP commitment, Brock Favors, for the coffee and cigarettes traffic.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, right after that, we're going to be going to Dick Gently, the new weatherman.
Yes.
Yes. We have Dick in the studio, and he's ready to go with your weather report today. So stay tuned for that in about 20 minutes. Or,
yes.
Well, as Gilbert likes to make things, about 48 minutes from now. Yeah. Well, first up on the show today, we've got a story that it kind of strikes me right in the heart.
Yes.
It does. I got to say it does. And the reason it does is because, of course, I'm talking about Subway sandwich restaurants.
Yes.
And, of course, their spokesperson, who ever since I was a kid has been their spokesperson, Jared Fogle.
Yes.
And, there's a lot of... There's a shit storm a-brewing. There really is. Of course, the Jared Fogle I speak of, yes, is that one, the only Jared who lost, 7,000 pounds eating Subway sandwiches or something. Well, he lost all that weight, and Subway hired him on as the official spokesperson for the company.
Yes.
And, now he's kind of put the company in a jam, and things aren't so good, and kind of alluding to that, I'll give you a little bit of a hint.
Yes.
When Jared first came out for Subway, I was 14 or something like that, and I really loved Jared, and he was a great guy and super nice on the commercials and all that good stuff, and he was pushing Subway, and I liked Subway.
Yes.
I liked the food. And so it was just good. I really loved him. Little did I know that, him being an adult, me being 14, he wanted to love me too. And I'm not kidding. No, that's right. Jared Fogle, who built a storybook career pitching Subway sandwich restaurants, has now put that sandwich company in a jam. Yeah, should the restaurant chain sever ties with its longtime spokesman? Well, following a high-profile raid on his Zionsville, Indiana house on Tuesday, just 2 months after an associate's arrest on child pornography charges. Or was Subway smart to just suspend its relationship with Fogle while the investigation runs its course?
Yes.
No, probably not. And, of course, recess the relationship after all the facts are known. From a marketing standpoint, both choices are fraught with complications, marketing experts say. And it's tough to say whether Fogle's career as a corporate pitchman can survive, even if he is exonerated. Brands are shaped by perception, says Tim Calkins, marketing professor at Northwestern University's Kellogg School of Management. The longer that people mention Jared in the same breath as child pornography, well, that's a huge problem for Subway. Well, it's unclear where the investigation is going or how long it will take to sort out the facts. Well, we should get Marilyn Mosby on it.
Yes.
She'll have it all investigated, and the trial will be set, and, the jury will be back in 11 days. Authorities did not comment Wednesday after a high-profile sweep of Fogle's house a day earlier. No charges have as yet been filed. In the meantime, marketing experts wonder whether Fogle or Subway can mend their long-time relationship. Karen Post, author of Brand Turnaround, How Brands Gone Bad Turned to Glory, said this is not a run-of-the-mill brand crisis. It's child porn. Yes, apparently in the court of public opinion, there are some scandals that people tend to forgive, but not child porn, she said.
Sex is only the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. That's right. And when you put your tip in kids... well, that, of course, tends not to go well for you.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, this is a little icky, but until everyone learns more, it's not fair to jump to conclusions, she said. She said Subway did the right thing by suspending its relationship with Fogle while waiting for the facts to come out. Even so, sometimes small scandals involving corporate pitchmen tend to spur companies to take very big steps. A decade ago, Dell Computer dropped actor Ben Curtis, better known as the Dell Dude, as its advertising star after he was arrested trying to buy marijuana. Well, now it's Fogle's time in the spotlight, not the kind which corporations gladly pay millions of dollars for. When the FBI, Indiana State Police, and U.S. Postal Service descended on Fogle's home this week, seizing electronic equipment, the media attention was instantaneous. Photos and headlines went around the world. Jared quickly turned into a punchline on Twitter. Yes, and HTLA actually, we were actually thinking that now would be the time to latch on to him,
Yes,
and grab him and get him to do a show for us called Friggin' with Fogle. yeah, it'd be fun, you know. It'd be a kid's show. Yeah.
You know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawler.
Yeah, look, Louis already punching out. Yeah. See you later. Nice doing business with you, HTLA. Have fun in court. Yeah. Actually, Gilbert.
Yes.
Give me your impression of Fogle and a 8-year-old boy. Well, on Tuesday, Subway said it was suspending its relationship with Fogle because of the probe. The company removed all mention of Fogle from its website. Fogle's lawyers said his content was, or his client, rather, was assisting investigators. He has not been detained, arrested, or charged with any crime or offense, attorney Ron Elberger said Tuesday. Nevertheless, it shows how quickly a trusted pitchman can turn toxic to a company. Yeah, should I say it? Affleck! That's right, Gilbert, you're toxic.
Yes.
Well, he has appeared in more than 50 commercials for Subway, often helping boost sales. Over the years, Fogle was gold for the company. Subway expanded to 44,027 restaurants in 110 countries. The private company became the third largest restaurant chain in the United States, with sales last year of $12.3 billion, according to Nation's Restaurant News. Several times, Subway tried to shift its marketing campaign to use less Jared, but franchise owners objected. Whenever the sales get sluggish, we say to put Jared back on TV, and the sales go up every time. Hardy Gruwal, a franchise owner in Southern California from India, of course, told the Advertising Age magazine in 2008, Fogle was not a natural marketer, but he looked wooden and low-key on camera without TV charm. Regardless of that, his history and nice guy image, well, that did the talking for him. He was a real person, not a Hollywood actor turned pitchman like Matthew McConaughey for Lincoln. Or, of course, Liam Neeson for Supercell Games or Pierce Brosnan for Kia. Wow, really? I didn't even know those two did that crap. Really? Okay.
And I finally figured out how to edit.
Oh, good for you, Louie. Good.
Yeah.
Good job. Oh, did you ever learn how to direct?
No, I don't, because I asked him, I said, well, fly out here and I'll film you.
Well, that's always a good start with filmmaking.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, nor was he an athlete pitching sporting goods or luxury brands. Think Tiger Woods for Nike or Rolex. And if Subway drops him, his career is almost certainly over. He had the only story to tell, and it was the perfect story for Subway. He ate their food and lost weight. That became the company's story, too, allowing it to say that it sold healthy option fast food. All Jared had to do was hold up his old jeans with the 58-inch waist. He's such a likable guy and a longtime fixture with a real human interest story, Post said. He's an undergraduate student from Indiana University. Fogle tipped his scales at 425 pounds. He had trouble fitting through doors and walking more than a few blocks at a time. Fed up with his unhealthy lifestyle, Fogle visited a nearby Subway restaurant and ordered a low-fat sandwich. The only one they have on their menu. That's right. And over that next year, he dropped more than 200 pounds in about a year while eating turkey subs and veggie subs with no mayo, no cheese. It's like eating cardboard, he said. Yes, and he built that good guy reputation into a career, traveling up to 200 days a year, attending Subway events and visiting Subway restaurants. But now, Subway might have big pants to fill. No company wants to be associated with an investigation possibly connected to child pornography. I don't know. I think it might be fun. I really do. You never know, Well, marketing experts say it would be unfair to jump to conclusions about Fogle's conduct, but in general, they said the companies always take chances when they link their brand heavily to incorporate a pitchman. Many companies will cut and run if there's a hint of wrongdoing, says Robert Frankel, a marketing consultant in Los Angeles. And the longer this investigation drags on, the tougher it is for Subway to continue any relationship with Jared. Neither Subway nor Fogle returned calls for this story because they knew we were going to fry them. Yes, so of course we did.
Yes.
Yes. Well, lately, the sandwich chain has been struggling, apparently. Sales slipped 3% last year. Some industry analysts say that Americans are looking for healthier options than the lies they're being sold at Subway. And they also add that Subway could definitely use a new menu and a new marketing campaign to what it really is. Bags and bags of sugar. Well, Robert Thompson, director of the Blyer Center for Television and Pop Culture at Syracuse University, said this might be a natural time for Subway and Fogle to part ways. Although Fogle has given the company more than a decade of marketing support. Oh, okay, so I wasn't 14. Just wishful thinking. Yes, the company could use a fresh start and keep at arm's length from Fogle's issues. My thinking is Jared and Subway had a great run, Thompson said, but it might be time for Subway to go in other directions than child porn. There we go, and that strikes the bell of 3:20.
Yes.
We are on schedule. No thanks to you, Gilbert.
Yes.
I guess that's what a week in Frantic City will do for you and get you all straightened out and back on time. Yeah. All right, so we're going to go for that first commercial break, but don't you go anywhere, because when we come back, we've got that story about another or the same or something ISIL leader in Afghanistan killed yesterday in U.S. drone strikes, which I'm sure we covered this about 4 or 5 months ago. Same guy, same Cartman picture, same dead again.
Yes.
Yeah. Apparently. So anyway, we'll have that and so much more for you when we come back. We'll be back in 2.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
if there was a coffee that was sourced from some of the world's most renowned growing regions, abundant with rich, fertile soil? What if this coffee was picked at the perfect moment, then packed meticulously and shipped carefully to be roasted under the watchful eye of coffee masters? What if it was expertly blended, ground, and sealed, ensuring maximum flavor and freshness, then brewed in small batches and always served fresh within 20 minutes, just the way you like it? Now, what if this coffee just happened to be the coffee you already know and love? Tim Hortons. Always fresh. Always great tasting coffee.
Automatic freshness, softness, and static control has never been easier with the Bounce Dryer Bar. I just stick it to the inside of my dryer, and I never have to remember.
Old Spice Body Spray makes you smell like power! It's so powerful it sells itself in other people's commercials. You smell like outdoor freshness.
You smell like power.
Yeah, I do. Power! Power!
I stood outside assessing the situation. I knew it could be rough in there, but how rough, there was no way to know for sure.
Hey, guys.
Daddy, it's pink!
But hey, a new house, it's a blank canvas, and we got a great one, thanks to a really low mortgage rate from Navy Federal Credit Union.
Pink?
So she's a princess. You got a problem with that?
Hoorah! Hoorah!
4 million members, 4 million stories. Navy Federal Credit Union.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop-up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I've been so inspired by being in New York because everything from what people are wearing on the street to the way they're interacting with each other, to drive through the West Village at night and you see a couple kissing on the street, or you see someone fighting outside their apartment, or you see so much humanity on a daily basis that even if you're not inspired by your own life that day, you can be inspired by someone else's life.
You got that long hair, slicked back, white t-shirt, and I got that good girl face and a tight little skirt. And when we go crashing down, we come back every time, 'cause we never go out, we never style, we never go out of style. Take me out.
There's only one place to get more Taylor.
You've got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Break for a commercial.
Well, if I break for a commercial for you, I have to break for a commercial for everybody.
just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories anyway.
Well, and who doesn't, Louis? It's just, more and more every day that we do this show, I just feel so much closer to you and Gilbert. Yeah, you stupid frisbee tag ace.
Yes.
A couple of weekends ago, there we were in Central Park doing the frisbee challenge.
Yes.
There, the HTLA team and Gilbert's team, and we of course did it for charity, but nobody cared. Not a single soul showed up. So, but Gilbert's team did win, of course, 98-4.
Yes.
And, I scored the 4, so I was the superstar, but nobody cared because we lost. Now, what are you going to do? I mean, that's just what you're going to do.
Bullshitters, never keep your mouth shut, always hustling, always looking for something to do and putting things together. That's the fucking American. Look how they took the country away from England.
Yeah, that's right. In England, they did well, of course. They won their game. Yeah. I don't know what the hell England has to do with anything, but I thought I'd throw the scores in anyway. That's right. For your number one source in sports worldwide, it's HTLA.
Yes.
Welcome back to the big show, of course, your Thursday double-double for this July 9th, 2015. And, what have I got to... What have I got to do? No, that's not the right thing to say. How many... I can't... I'm trying to think of that Michael Bolton song. And everybody's like, why the hell are you trying to think of the Michael Bolton song?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. How am I supposed to live without you? Yeah.
My film, Unrepented, did very well in Europe.
Yeah, Louis, but we're talking Michael Bolton right now. Give me some help with that. No? Okay, all right.
Yes.
Guess he'll just be on his own.
That was a mistake on my part.
Well, you could correct it now, Well, gang, of course, in fulfilling our NAACP requirements,
yes.
We need to kill another one. So we're going to go ahead and do that now by bringing you Brock Favors, of course, in HTLA Chopper 1, bringing you the traffic. Brock, take it away.
Hello, everybody out there. This is Brock Favors with Traffic on the Ones. Chad Armstrong is out sick today, so I am filling in for my usual land reports. And I'm up here in the chopper, but I gotta tell you guys, I am loving the view. Oh my God! Oh! No! Stop! Oh! Yeah. Woo! All right. Well, we are over the 10. It is massively clogged down there like a pint of maple syrup on a cool November morning. And we do. Oh! Oh my God! Woo! Okay. I am very sorry, folks. It's a little bit of a bumpy ride up here. We are now approaching the 405, where the left lane is blocked by a mattress. So somebody is going to be doing a little return to IKEA later today. You know what I'm saying? Oh, no, please! Oh, goddamn! Oh, get me out this motherfucking death machine right now! Oh, no, black people ain't meant to be in the sky! We ain't meant to be in the sky, man! Oh, mama, help me, mother... Oh, mama! With a 405 is up right now, ain't nobody going down this. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, folks. I'm very sorry, but I'm losing my up here.
Actually, you have every right to. We're about to crash.
Thank you, Brock. Of course, our condolences, as always, to the Favors family.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a good...
We're 5 steps away from winning the Academy Award.
I know, and you didn't, and now you're here. And
that was a mistake on my part.
And there you go.
Wait a minute, I got lost. HTLA.
Yeah, don't worry about it. You're fine.
Everything that could go wrong goes wrong. Yeah.
Well, absolutely, and it does every single day for Brock. Yes. And now, of course, in the interests of keeping the HTLA listener updated and informed wherever the hell they may be.
Yes.
In our attempt to, not only bring you the traffic.
Yes.
Now we are, of course, going to bring you the weather. And for this, I'm going to turn it over right now to HTLA's brand new, never before seen, heard, or, well, pretty much anything else. Well, hey, at least it's not like Brian Williams and he's going to get fired. And we're going to turn it over now to HTLA's chief meteorologist, Dick Gently. Dick, take it away.
We had beautiful weather here for this weekend, mostly sunny skies and highs in the upper 80s. Overnight tonight, partly cloudy, mild, with those temperatures dropping down into the mid-70s. Now, we've got some big changes here for the upcoming work week. Starting tomorrow, we're going to have a volcanic eruption right near Charlottesville, and it's going to make things rather toasty across the area. We're going to see lava spill out into central Virginia and make temperatures in Richmond at 350 degrees, Fredericksburg at 345, Charlottesville, the hot spot, at 400. Not as hot off towards the Tidewater. A little bit more comfortable with highs near 100 degrees. The reason why, we're going to have tidal waves moving in ahead of this. A global superstorm developing off towards the Atlantic Ocean. This thing is headed our way, but the key to the forecast, right before this thing makes landfall, it is going to be deflected by Godzilla. Now, a lot can change between now and then. We're looking at the latest data. We'll continue to bring you the very latest. I do want to encourage you, though, that if you ever do see a sleeping coyote, do not wake it. Bad idea. Okay, here's the forecast. Volcano, 350 there for Monday. Global superstorm on Tuesday. We could see maybe about 200 inches of rainfall, wind gusts up to 1,000 miles an hour. Godzilla Wednesday, I'll be honest, I have no idea what's going to happen on that day. After that, though, how about this to finish off the work week? Low humidity, lots of sunshine, with highs in the upper 80s heading into next weekend.
All right, thank you, Dick.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, that's I've just been informed. Actually, the CEO and the corporate heads, of course, upstairs.
Yes.
Well, they're listening today. Apparently, Dick has been fired. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, now Jenny is telling me via she's writing on a pad,
yes,
and holding it up to the booth glass there with her beautiful boobies. And now she's telling me we have a replacement weather guy.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, she's saying that we have a replacement weather report coming to us right now from HTLA's brand new meteorologist. So now we're going to turn it over to Frankie McDonald.
Yes.
Yes, the HTLA meteorologist. Frankie, go, buddy.
This is Frankie McDonald, my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Powerful storm is heading for Vancouver, British Columbia on Saturday, September 28th, 2013. It's going to be a period of real heavy rain and a strong winds along the coast of British Columbia. It's going to hit Vancouver, British Columbia, especially in greater Vancouver area because of the intense low-pressure system. It's going to be in
really
west of British Columbia. It's going to bring a lot of rain in greater Vancouver area.
Uh-huh.
And Vancouver Island, the Sunshine Coast.
Right.
And the western coast of British Columbia. It's going to bring up to 50-plus millimeters of rain in greater Vancouver and the Vancouver Island. People in Vancouver, be prepared. Have your rubber boots ready, have your raincoats ready, have your rain tools ready because a lot of rain's heading for Vancouver on Saturday.
What can
It's going to affect
Frankie.
Fraser Valley as well, such as Abbotsford, Chilliwack, and Hope, and Greater Vancouver's getting a lot of rain.
Uh-huh.
And the west
Okay.
coast of British Columbia as well.
Uh-huh. Frankie, what about, in the eastern area, maybe the eastern
It's going to
U.S.?
be a big waves on the shore and the beaches. A lot of Vancouver Island
Right.
and the Sunshine Coast. Stay away from the beaches. Don't go near the shore because a lot of rain is heading for Vancouver and the very strong winds. And the wind's going to gust up to over 100 kilometers per hour, especially in
Vancouver?
along the coast of British Columbia, like Vancouver Island and Greater Vancouver.
Yes.
The people of Vancouver, don't open up your umbrella, or your umbrella could get broken because winds will be too strong to support an umbrella.
You don't got to yell, Frankie.
It's going to be periods of heavy rain in Greater Vancouver and Vancouver Island, and winds are going to be very strong.
Okay.
In Vancouver, British Columbia, and Victoria, British Columbia as well, because a lot of rain's heading for Vancouver.
Right. Okay.
And winds are going to be very strong along the coast of British Columbia.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Especially people living in the
Okay, Frankie.
coast of Vancouver Island.
Okay, thank
as
you,
well.
Frank. Can he hear me? Okay, Frankie.
There will be big waves hitting along the coast. The power will go out. Have your flashlights
Oh, shit.
ready.
Yes.
Have your extra batteries ready.
Frankie!
Have your crank up radio ready.
Shut the fuck up, Frankie! Shut the fuck up, Frankie!
They get f***ing crazy because all of a sudden nobody loves them.
Oh, there we go. That's the official weather report there from our good man Frankie McDonald, HTLA meteorologist, apparently now permanently hired. I can't wait to tune in tomorrow at this time and of course get weather for I don't know maybe somewhere other than Vancouver surrounding areas.
It's just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories. Anyway.
Well, so do I, Louis, and it's going to be really goddamn good to get back to them. I can't.
I think it should be short and sweet.
Yeah, we should probably tell him, Jenny, or whoever's holding his leash. We should probably tell him to shorten it up a little bit,
Yes.
kind of make it a little more concise and maybe, I don't know, cover somewhere else other than Vancouver. Yeah. All right, well, we're moving on. There you go. That's our first, I guess first failed and second attempt at weather on Coffee and Cigarettes. Yes. Well, moving along here, we're going to get back to the stories, of course, and the next one is a doozy because I'm pretty sure we told you about this 4 months ago. Yes, but reports today indicate that the ISIL leader in Afghanistan has indeed been killed by a U.S. drone strike yesterday. That's right. The senior leader for the Islamic State in Afghanistan, currently embroiled in a feud with the Taliban over who will conduct the insurgency there. They're fighting over who's going to terrorize what. Oh man, yes. Who will conduct the fear there? Yes. Well, apparently he has been killed in a U.S. drone strike. Local media has reported today. The strike killed Shahidullah al-Sahadrid. Damn, I'm good. Yes, him and more than 24 other militants in eastern Afghanistan south of the city of Jalalabad. It was that city where Islamic State militants conducted their first major attack against Afghan civilians in April, killing 35 in a suicide bombing. The drone strike Wednesday, the same day Taliban officials met for the first time with an Afghan delegation in Islamabad, Pakistan, to open peace negotiations. Well, the Pentagon said today that precision strikes by U.S. forces were carried out Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday south of Jalalabad against individuals threatening U.S. and coalition forces. There was no elaboration, as there won't be when they do the same to HTLA. Yes. Well, the Afghan intelligence officials told media that those killed in the drone strike included Shahid, a former Pakistan Taliban spokesman, and another senior Islamic State leader in Afghanistan, Gul al-Zaman. Well, the Islamic State, also known as ISIS or ISIL, controls vast portions of Syria and western Iraq. Last year, it began recruiting disaffected members of both Pakistan and Afghan Taliban insurgencies and providing funding for opening the front in South Asia, says Seth Jones, a political scientist with the Rand Corporation. And if there's anybody you can trust more than Monsanto, well, you know, that's got to be the Rand Corporation.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, what they've done is they haven't built anything from scratch. They've just reached out and disaffected folks, Jones said. It's possible, yes, because I always refer to those sand spiders as folks. Yeah, there they are, sitting on their porches with the Jack Daniels and the banjos. Yeah. Well, how you doing, Taliban folks? He says further, it is possible, for example, if at the Afghani government and negotiations continue with the Afghan Taliban and those who don't want peace, deal may defect to the Islamic State. But the challenge the Islamic State has in the area is that its ideology is foreign. Shahid was named deputy chief of a region of the Islamic State, identifies as spanning parts of Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Iran. A cover story in the Islamic State magazine published in December was highly critical of Taliban leader Mullah Mohammed Omar. Yes, the Afghan Taliban reacted strongly to the intrusion, pushing an open letter on its website in June, warning the Islamic State to stay out of its territory. Jihad against Americans and their allies must be conducted under one flag, one leadership, the letter said. I just see them. Oh, Abu, what are you doing? Didn't you get the letter? I'm sorry, Rashid. I must have missed the memo.
Yes.
Oh, my Twitter is down. Well, last year, Shahid was fired by Pakistani Taliban spokesman after pledging allegiance to the Islamic State. At the time, the Pakistan Taliban and Shalala Shahid was a nom de guerre, that his real name was Sheikh Maghboul, the BBC reported. A senior leader of Islamic State operations in southern Afghanistan, Mullah Abdul Rauf, had sworn allegiance to the militants after breaking with the Taliban and was killed in a U.S. drone strike yesterday. Or February, whichever you want to believe, you know. Yes, that was the big guy that looked like Cartman.
Yes.
Yeah. That's who that was. That's why I remembered that. You kind of can't forget that picture. That is some mighty fine coffee.
Which woman are you married to or living with now?
He might be talking to his dog. Yeah, Louis, you're talking to your dog, right?
That was a mistake on my part.
Okay. Well, it's fine. You know, our listeners understand you. We know.
Yes.
What to, of course, expect from the fine guest co-hosts. Coffee and cigarettes. Yeah. That did include you, Gilbert.
Yes.
Yeah. Moving on today, several big U.S. cities are seeing their homicide rates surge. Yes, after seeing years of decline in violent crime, several major American cities are experiencing a dramatic surge in homicides during the first half of this year. Milwaukee, which had one of its lowest annual homicide totals in city history last year, has recorded 84 murders so far this year, more than double the 41 tallied at the same point last year. Milwaukee Police Chief Edward Flynn said the mounting homicide toll in his city of 600,000 is being driven by Wisconsin's absurdly weak gun laws. That's it, yeah. Carrying a concealed weapon without a state-issued concealed carry is a misdemeanor in the Badger State. So don't screw with the Badger.
Yes.
A subculture within the city that affirms the use of deadly violence to achieve status and growing distrust of police in many parts of the city. And Milwaukee is not alone. Baltimore, New Orleans, and St. Louis have also seen the number of murders jump 33% or more so far in 2015. Meanwhile, Chicago, the nation's third largest city, has seen the homicide toll climb by 19% and the number of shooting incidents increase in the city by 21% during the first half of the year. All of these numbers pale in comparison to, of course, the death toll in Detroit of 682,000 so far this year. Well, in all the cities, the increased violence is disproportionately impacting the poor and predominantly African American and Latinos. Weird.
I lived in Greenwich Village for a while when I first started out as an actor.
And that was your Greenwich Village update. Thank you, Louis. Right, okay. Well, there you go. Predominantly African-American and Latino neighborhoods. In parts of Milwaukee, of course, the sound of gunfire has become so expected that about 80% of gunfire detected by shot spotter sensors aren't even called into police by residents, Flynn said. We've got folks out there living in neighborhoods where it's just part of the background noise, Flynn told us. That's what we're up against. Criminologists are quick to note that the surge in murders in many big American cities come after years of declines in violent crime in major metros throughout the USA. Big cities saw homeless peak in the late 1980s and early 1990s as crack cocaine wreaked havoc on many urban areas, as it does in so many radio stations today. Well, the homicide toll across the country, which reached a grim nadir in 1993 when more than 2,200 murders were counted in New York City, has declined in ebbs and flows for much of the last 20 years. Noted Alfred Bloomstein, a professor of urban systems at operations research at Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh. Several U.S. cities, including Los Angeles, Phoenix, San Diego, and Indianapolis, have experienced decrease in the number of murders so far this year. Bloomstein said the current surge in murders in some big cities could amount to no more than a blip. Yeah, there you go. Don't worry about it. It's just a blip. Well, it could be. 2015 represents the hitting a plateau. By the end of the year nationally, we'll see that murder rates are flat out, or there is a slight bump up, Bloomstein said. But other experts say the surge in killings suggests that the United States may be nearing a floor in reducing its murder rate as the federal, state, and local governments increasingly are grappling with tighter budgets. Why is there a synchronicity among these cities, says Peter Scharf, an assistant professor at LSU School of Public Health whose research focuses on crime. One reason may be President Obama is broke. And, of course, governors like Bobby Jindal are broke. And mayors like New Orleans' Mitch Landrieu are also broke. You just don't have the resources at any level of government to fund proactive law enforcement. Baltimore and Ferguson effect. So far this year, Baltimore has recorded 155 homicides, including 3 people who were killed late Tuesday evening near the University of Maryland Baltimore campus. The 2015 homicide toll is 50 higher than it was at this point last year. On Wednesday, Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake announced that she was firing Police Commissioner Anthony Batts because of the spike in the murders in the city. Going to hire me a black police chief. The firing also came as the police union was set to release a report hammering the department's response to the unrest in Baltimore following the death of Freddie Gray, who died 1 week after sustaining a severe spinal cord injury while in Baltimore police custody. Gray's treatment was held up by protesters as an example of the endemic problem of police brutality in the city and beyond. We cannot grow Baltimore without making our city a safer place to live, Rawlings Blake said. We need change. I bet you she would elect Obama again. She went on to say, this is not an easy decision, but it is one that is in the best interest of the people of Baltimore. The people of Baltimore deserve better. The Charm City, which is seeing some of the worst violence since the 1990s, when it routinely tallied 300 murders annually, recorded 42 killings in just May alone. And now this commercial for Baltimore tourism. Well, not to leave Baltimore out, in St. Louis, there have been 93 homicides compared with 58 at the same point last year. The increased violence this year in St. Louis allows the city recording more than 30% increase in murders in 2014, when police in the city saw a steep rise in violence following the shooting death last August of unarmed black teenager Michael Brown. Of course, in nearby Ferguson, by that white police officer, yes. Police have made arrests only in 29 of the 2015 homicide cases, suggesting witnesses are increasingly showing a reluctance to come forward. St. Louis Police Chief Stam Dotson said that he's increasingly looking to federal authorities to get involved in cases in the city in the hopes of spurring witnesses to come forward. St. Louis Police and several federal agencies also plan to announce new partnerships next week aimed at reducing violence in the cities. Our clearance rates aren't where we'd like them to be, Dotson said in an interview. We do have some things working with the feds that I think will start sending a very clear message to the public, i.e. black people, in the next 3 to 4 weeks. New Orleans has recorded 98 homicides so far this year, compared with just 72 at the same point last year, according to the count kept by Scarf, the LSU analyst. The bloody summer in New Orleans, a city of about 380,000, recently tallied 7 murders in an 8-day period. Yes, well, 7-year-old takes a bullet meant for dad. There you go. That's right. Chicago's homicide toll stood at 203 as of June 28th, up from 171 at the same point last year, according to police stats. The city is still well below the pace of 2012, when Chicago recorded more than 500 for the entire year. Yeah. Well, the Windy City, of course, which recorded more murders than any other municipality last year, experienced a bloody July 4th weekend in which 11 people were killed. More than 50 others were wounded. One of this weekend's victims was a 7-year-old Amari Brown, who police said was struck by a bullet that was likely intended for his father, a high-ranking gang member. So remember, kids and gangs don't mix. You know, the boy's father, Antonio Brown, had 45 arrests on his rap sheet, including an April arrest on a gun charge. Brown was out on bail at the time of his son's killing. Quote, if you think that putting more cops on the street would make a difference, then take a look at the fact that we put a third more manpower on the street this weekend, Chicago Police Superintendent Gary McCarthy told reporters at the end of the bloody holiday weekend. And what's the result? Well, we're getting more guns, and that's great, but it's not stopping the black people violence. And right here in New York City, were 161 homicides in the city for the first half of 2015 versus 145 during the first half of 2014. Shootings in the city rose to 452 from 511 in the same period last year. So watch your step, Gilbert. Yeah. It's so phenomenally low that it can hardly go in any direction but up, said Bloomstein at Carnegie Mellon analyst. The homicide toll has risen in several other major cities in the first half of the year, albeit at a less dramatic pace. In Philadelphia, murders are up slightly, with the city recording 123 thus far this year, compared with 117 at the same point last year. The murder rate, however, is far lower than it was in 2012, when the city had recorded a whopping 187 murders by July 7th of that year. Dallas has tallied 68 so far this year, up from 53 in 2014. Come on, Sharon, get to work. Well, there you go. Meanwhile, Houston police reported 73 murders in the first quarter of 2015 compared to 46 the same period last year. Police department for the fourth largest city has yet to release its murder tally for the second quarter of 2015. And again, come on, Sharon, hurry up. Well, and in good old Washington, D.C., yes, homeland of Al Obama. Yes, the homicide count stands at 73 compared with 62 last year. Police and politicians in the nation's capital have connected the spike in murders to the influx of synthetic drugs, including K2, spice, and others, which are said to mimic the effects of marijuana. Oh, yeah, because a good reefer makes everybody homicidal. Yeah. Oh, goddamn retards.
Yes.
Yeah. We experience spikes in violent crime every year, Lanier told. You know what? If he thinks this is like pot, I'm not reading his story. Yeah. Screw you, Lanier. You're an idiot.
Yes.
There you go. There you go. So let's recap now. Long and the short is murder rates are up everywhere. If you're in the cities, shut the hell up. Keep to yourself. And whatever you do, don't piss off the Christ Jesus.
Yes.
Or indeed, in fact, the Sharon Chesley. Yeah. Well, moving on today, of course, we've got some tough issues to get into now. You thought the last story was tough. It's got nothing on this one.
Yeah.
That's right. John Kerry. Yeah, Secretary of State John Kerry, of course, to be specific. Tough issues remain for an Iran nuke deal, he says. That's right. That's what he said today. Tough issues remain unresolved in talks to curb Iran's nuclear program, and the United States is prepared to walk away if they're not settled. We believe we're making real progress toward a comprehensive deal, Kerry told reporters in Vienna, where the talks are taking place, but we're not trying to sit at the negotiating table forever. World powers, the United States, Britain, France, Russia, China, and Germany, have been seeking an agreement by Friday to limit Iran's nuclear program in return for lifting U.S. and international sanctions that have crippled Iran's economy. The U.S. goal in the talks is to prevent Iran, of course, from producing a nuclear weapon, which Iran says it does not seek. In the end, if we are to reach a deal, it has to be one that stands the test of time, a test of decades, Kerry said, adding that he would not be rushed to reach a deal. Many of members of Congress, skeptical of making a deal with Iran, have urged the Obama administration not to be bound by deadlines and to focus on getting a good agreement. The deadline for the current round of talks was extended from June 30th to Tuesday and then to Friday. Many differences have been resolved, but the talks snagged on two sensitive issues, or indeed the two issues that it's been snagged on for months. The first, of course, being is the sequence of lifting sanctions and whether they could easily be restored if Iran doesn't comply with its obligations. And the second, of course, is whether sanctions relief would include international arms embargoes on Iran because, you know, if they can't get us with nukes, they need more guns. So, there you go. Each deadline extension also continued the conditions agreed on in November of 2013 that required Iran to limit its nuclear activities while talks were ongoing. In April, the sides announced a general framework for the final deal that would require what President Obama said would be an unprecedented scrutiny of Iran's nuclear program. It also called for restrictions for 10 to 15 years on how much nuclear fuel Iran could produce. Iran, which would commit to keeping its program peaceful, says it needs a very large nuclear fuel capability. This, of course, to supply current and future nuclear power plants. Many members of Congress and Israel worry that could provide Iran the means to supply a secret nuclear weapon. On Sunday, Kerry said that the sides had agreed on much, but that remaining differences were so important that they could nix the deal. If there is outside intrinsics, if there is an unwillingness to move on the things that are important, President Obama has always said we'll be prepared to walk away. Kerry said, "It's not what everybody wants. We want to get an agreement." Well, You keep on saying that. Yeah, you keep on saying that, and we'll just keep on reporting it over and over and over again. That's what we're going to do. Yeah.
That's why power is corrupt, and it is. We see it every day. You see it in every job. It's the same thing.
Well, it's good to see you're still awake. Yes. All right, we're going to go over for that second commercial break, but don't you go anywhere, because when we come back, we're going to tell you about the idiot students at Yale.
Yes.
See, and that's why I've always been a Harvard man.
Yeah.
Yes, the idiot students at Yale and the petition, of course, to rename Calhoun College because it's anti-Negro. You're laughing like you think I'm kidding. I'm not. We're back in 2.
You've got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Good morning. Welcome to Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop, where fresh always tastes better. What can I make you this morning?
How about our new flatbread breakfast paninis? Made fresh, just for you, with your favorite breakfast ingredients on maple or multigrain flatbread, then grilled to hot, melted perfection. Just $2.99. Who couldn't warm up to that?
Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop, where quality really does meet value.
I've been so inspired by being in New York because everything from what people are wearing on the street to the way they're interacting with each other, to drive through the West Village at night and you see a couple kissing on the street, or you see someone fighting outside their apartment, or you see so much humanity on a daily basis that even if you're not inspired by your own life that day, you can be inspired by someone else's life.
You got that long hair, slicked back, white t-shirt, and I got that good girl face and a tight little skirt. And when we go crashing down, we come back every time, 'cause we never go out, we never style, we never go out of style. Take me
There's only one place to get more Taylor.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop-up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I stood outside assessing the situation. I knew it could be rough in there, but how rough, there was no way to know for sure.
Hey, guys.
Daddy, it's pink!
But hey, a new house, it's a blank canvas, and we got a great one, thanks to a really low mortgage rate from Navy Federal Credit Union.
Pink?
So she's a princess. You got a problem with that?
Hoorah! Hoorah! 4 million members, 4 million stories. Navy Federal Credit Union.
Automatic freshness, softness, and static control has never been easier with the Bounce dryer bar. I just stick it to the inside of my dryer, and I never have to remember.
Old Spice body spray makes you smell like power! It's so powerful it sells itself in other people's commercials. You smell like outdoor freshness.
You smell like power.
Yeah, I do. Power!
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
Well, I know he has a crush on Sandra Bullock.
That was so many years ago, Gilbert. I don't have I don't have that anymore. Honest.
Yeah.
Well, it's true. I don't. I really don't. She can just burn in hell for
That's
all
the famous story about Jerry Lee Lewis. You heard that story, haven't you?
Yeah, we have, Louie, and don't give a fluke. I see, Jenny didn't have to actually beat me there because, of course, I was using the Norwegian word fluke.
Which woman are you married to or living with now?
Why do you always assume it's a woman? I'm actually with a duck right now. See, you can actually hear her right there quacking. Did you? Yeah. Oh, now you're not quacking. Oh, that's right. Well, honey, you just keep that our little secret.
Yes.
Yeah. Welcome back, of course, to the big show. Of course, your coffee and cigarettes Thursday double-double on HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk, of course, where it is currently 79 degrees Central Park right now. Sunny with a few clouds kicking around. Not really a big deal. And thanks, of course, to our weatherman, Frankie McDonald, as always. Yes, Devlon, a duck. Yeah. We're going back to those corporate spokespeople again at the beginning of the show. That first one there about, what was it? Affleck! And what's it like, Gilbert, to be, when you got casted?
Yes.
Did they tell you that you were going to read as being a duck?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. And you pulled it off better than all the rest, and you got the job. You did. You got that job, and you were on your way, and now look at all the incredible celebrity you've gained. Look at that. Look at that. You just...
And now I have to bring up that piece of trivia that everyone feels like they're telling people that they don't know.
Uh-huh. Okay. You're a duck.
Let's fight Hitler!
Okay. All right. We can do that. I think you've lost it.
I'd like to have that as my slogan in life.
Okay. Well, okay. Officially, Gilbert, I've lost it. Godfrey. There you go. Well, moving on today.
Give me any help for $25,000.
No, shut the freak up. Yes, I don't know how you spell that Norwegian word, but shut the freak up.
That was a mistake on my part.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. But that's okay. That's okay. We're on it. We've got it all fixed, and now we can continue on with the goddamn show.
Yes.
On there. And just before the break there, we told you about the Yale students now petitioning to rename Calhoun College. Yes, it's true. Yale University students are asking the school's administration to change the name of Calhoun College, one of Yale's 12 residential colleges, in, of course, the wake of the racially motivated church shooting in Charleston, South Carolina. Yes, apparently the PCers are doing their homework. Yes, why are they doing this, you ask? Well, you see, the college is actually named after John C. Calhoun.
Yes.
Yeah. An 1804 Yale graduate who later went on to become the 7th vice president of these United States. Calhoun, of course, was a strong supporter of slavery and publicly defended the institution throughout his life and called slavery, quote, and I gotta agree, it's a positive good. Yeah. Well, a group of Yale law students created an online petition on June 29th. According to Catherine Demby, a Yale law student and one of the drafters of the petition was circulated via email and social media. Thus far, the petition has more than 1,300 signatures. Yeah. And, of course, now with this incredible coverage, they're going to have maybe 1,309.
Yes.
There we go. Well, it's deeply upsetting that it has taken a tragedy such as the shooting in Charleston to initiate the removal of symbols of white supremacy from public spaces. The petition reads, "The Confederate flag, however, is not the only symbol of white supremacy to confront. The monumental task of eliminating vestiges of racism must include all monuments and symbols dedicated to people and institutions that fought to preserve slavery and white supremacy. We thus respectfully request that Yale University change the name of Calhoun College." Graham White, another Yale law student who helped create the petition, says that the events in Charleston elevated a conversation about how institutions, governments, and companies recognize historical symbols of white supremacy. These symbols of white supremacy weren't only being recognized in the South. We didn't have to look very far to see that. Yale had a college named after one of the most prolific white supremacists in American history. Crash Jesus. Yes. Oh, No, I'm sorry. That's Grand Dragon Crash Jesus. Yes. So, I keep forgetting my title.
Yes.
Well, the debate over this college has always been there, but until now there hasn't been the momentum to make the change. So we're really going to try and make the change happen now with our 1,300 signatures. Well, I was certainly a bit bothered by it, and I know I had classmates who were significantly bothered by the name, he says. Well, why'd you go to that school, doofy? Well, no. Okay, so these are all obviously white students because, no self-respecting black student who, well, do they have any at Yale? Okay, well, let's say for argument's sake that they do.
Yeah.
Okay. Why would you even apply to that school in the first place?
Yes.
If you knew all this, smart ass. Well, I was certainly bothered by it. Yes, bothered by the name. Goldenberg believes that although there have been objections to the name of Calhoun College, it has not been changed since the college's creation in the mid-30s as a way to engage with history. There's this idea that having a name like that on a residential college helps preserve some history and has us talking about painful racial past, both in the university and indeed the nation, Goldberg says. He also says, I think there are other ways that we can engage with history other than to continue to have a building named for an ardent racist.
Yeah.
Well, Yale spokeswoman Carol Pert told the Associated Press that the school welcomes the discussions that have emerged. Yes, of course, the tragedy in Charleston, on top of countless preceding tragedies in our country's history, has elevated public opinion and discourse on difficult subjects that have too long been avoided, Pert said. It's only 1,300 signatures. Well, Denby says that she believes the university administration is open to the suggestions made in the petition. Well, of course, we're open to every suggestion. We're not going to change anything, but we're open. Well, she cites the administration's decision in the 1990s to change a stained glass window in Calhoun College, which depicted a slave kneeling before Calhoun. Oh, no, that's a true story, Gilbert.
Yes.
Yeah, when they took that out in the 90s, they didn't smash it or anything.
Yes.
They took it out and they boxed it up, and it's funny. I was up with Kate up in upstate there, I guess about 6-8 months ago.
Yes.
And funny enough, we came across it, got it for $500, and it's hanging in my study. Yep. Yeah. Well, of course, that was taken out after a student approached the college's administration. Yes. So thank you to that student, whoever you are. Well, there's precedence for change, Demby says. Right, it's difficult to tell what with the overall consensus on campus is on the proposed name change, since most students are currently away due to summer break, but he says he has mainly received support for the ideas poised in the petition. According to White, there are a few who think that change is too symbolic of an action and not substantive enough to address the larger issues. We recognize that this is definitely a symbolic measure, but it's an important one because it would show that the university cares. It cares about the perspectives of minority students, and here's our voices, White says. I'm having a hard time with this story.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure they don't accept minorities at Yale. Well, they accept them at Chicago College because that's where Obama's going to be teaching. And speaking of Obama...
Yes.
Today, the Obama administration and congressional lawmakers monitored nuclear talks in Vienna on, today, that of course hang behind a landmark agreement with Iran on a further stalemate. Amid signs that the negotiators will blow through another deadline, White House spokesman Josh Earnest said today that the United States still seeks an agreement that would, of course, shut down any path toward Iranian nuclear weapons, as well as inspections to assure that Iran is complying. Right now, we're focused on trying to reach an agreement, Earnest said. Earnest also said U.S. negotiators are prepared to walk away if Iran will not make certain commitments with regard to its nuclear program. He added, this is a tough deal. President Obama spoke by video conference yesterday with Secretary of State John Kerry. And, of course, other members of the U.S. negotiating team. The president reviewed the progress of negotiations to date and provided guidance related to our ongoing efforts to achieve a good deal, the White House said in a statement. On Thursday, Kerry told reporters in Vienna that negotiators have made some progress, but some of the tough issues remain unresolved. Yes. Well, the United States and its allies are offering to reduce sanctions on Iran if it agrees to give up means to make nuclear weapons. For their part, the Iranians are demanding a quicker reduction of sanctions, less intrusive inspections, and easing of sanctions on weapons purchases from certain countries, officials said. Senator Bob Corker, a Republican of Tennessee, chairman of the State Foreign Relations Committee, told CNN that what we're hearing is that there's been some breakthroughs, but not all of the breakthroughs that are necessary for the final agreement. But I think it's possible people are feeling a bit more optimistic about getting something done, said Corker, who has been skeptical of some aspects of the Iran proposal. Yes, tune in tomorrow for the Iran update. Well, critics, including congressional Republicans and the Israeli government officials, question whether Iran would live up to an agreement that it gave up the pursuit of nuclear weapons. Iran says its nuclear program is for peaceful energy production in any event. And they're going to name it the Calhoun program. Yes, the Calhoun. Well, an inability to reach an agreement by Friday would increase the amount of time Congress has to view or review any Iran deal, expanding from 30 days to 60 because of the August recess. Negotiators in Vienna initially set a June 30th deadline for the final agreement, then extended that to July 7th, and then again to tonight at midnight. For months, the parties have operated under the interim agreement that freezes Iran. Yes, what is this Iran thing?
Yes.
Keeps the Iranian nuclear program in place. The U.S. has not ruled out an extension for that interim agreement. Republican lawmakers, skeptical of the proposed agreement in any event, have warned the administration not to rush into anything because of the congressional calendar. Corker urged U.S. negotiators this week, quote, to hold firm, take their time, and be prepared to step back from the table. This isn't that big of a deal. Well, moving on, we've got some more dangerous, scary things to worry about right here at home.
Yes.
Yes. That's right, we do. All the way from Great Falls, Montana. Yes, my homeland. Multiple official sources today have confirmed the bodies of 17 dead bison discovered near the 4th of July weekend near a watering trough at the Fort Belknap Indian Reservation. On Monday, an additional bison was found. The exact cause of the bison death remains under investigation, but the sudden demise of so many animals is raising concerns both from tribal members and area ranchers that the aliens are hard at work. Well, a repeated request for comment from Fort Belknap tribal offices went unanswered Wednesday because they don't talk to Canadians. That's right. However, a Facebook posting by the head of the tribe's Buffalo Management Program, yes, they have a Buffalo Management Program called the Calhoun Buffalo Management Program, and they fleshed out the details of what is known. Quote, there were 17 head of buffalo that were found dead on Saturday mid-morning, states a post from Buffalo Wrangler Bronk Speak Thunder. Yes, Bronk Speak Thunder.
Yes.
So, between Thursday night and Saturday morning, something happened that is yet to be determined. Also, one appeared to be in good shape with no symptoms of being anything wrong, and died between the time I left Sunday night and early Monday morning, making it an 18 total. Precautions were advised by two different vets who took blood samples and sent them to the lab. Speak Thunder's Facebook post continues today, July 7th. The results from the lab were good to give them up for tissue samples, which were given to the federal government, men in black. Well, he says the test results take 3 days to come back. Therefore, my answer is I do not know what happened until the test results come back. Famous last words, you'll never see those men in black again.
Yes.
But hey, thanks for the bison blood. Well, we'll see what it looks like in 2 days, says Dr. A.W. Layton. Yes, we'll see where those tests are going. Layton said, I'm not going to release any information until the test is completed, or the government doesn't shut me up. Well, I've known about it since Monday morning, says Chairman Frank DePriest. I have nothing that is verifiable, but I heard that they were gathered around a water trough. My first thoughts were that they had run out of water. However, upon further examination, the water trough was full, and State Livestock Inspector Mark Simonson cautioned against underground speculation as to what caused the animal's death, but acknowledged that various rumors were afloat regarding the end of their lives, including concerns about a possible outbreak of anthrax or indeed UFO abduction. Apparently, the initial anthrax tests are negative, Simonson said, of early diagnostic lab results. They're also looking at possible water problems, something they drank. It could be a salt problem, it could be an algae problem, or maybe they just got probed up the ass. If they're being mistreated, that's one thing, DePriest said, but if it's disease, that's another. He added that the dead bison were almost certainly members of a larger herd moved out of Yellowstone National Park in 2012, a hotbed of alien activity. Well, a collaborative effort between the Fort Peck Indian Reservation, Montana Fish and Wildlife, and Parks and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, of course, facilitated the transfer of 90 animals to a pasture near Poplar on the Fort Peck Indian Reservation in 2012. A segment of that herd was subsequently moved to Fort Belknap. In 2013.
Yes.
Well, they established a new pasture with a new fence and everything, DePriest said. They drilled a water well that was drilled specifically for the buffalo, and it sits maybe a quarter mile off the highway. And they got some 30 of them from Fort Peck. And what all this has to do with the alien conspiracy, we don't know. I think they're just throwing in all this information to throw us off the alien conspiracy. There we go. Well, almost done now. Only two more stories on the big show.
Yes.
And you gotta love doing these.
It's just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories anyway.
Oh, do you, Louie? I didn't know that. Yeah.
No, Frank and I were talking that your mother was in a movie.
Yeah, she was, and that has nothing to do with the alien conspiracy either. So. But moving on today, of course, we do have more news in our never-ending, dragging story about the Confederate fricking flag. Yes, Washington today. House GOP leaders were forced today to pull a spending bill from the floor after an amendment regarding the display of the Confederate flag sparked a swift and angry backlash from Democrats. House Republicans want to keep the Confederate flag and all that it stands for flying high. Yes, oddly enough, that was from Rep. Dan Clindy, Democrat of Michigan, one of a number of Democrats who took the floor late yesterday and early today to denounce Republicans over an amendment offered late Wednesday by Republican Ken Calvert of California. Republicans said the amendment was only intended to clarify existing new standards established by the Obama administration. The optics and the timing of the vote, the same day South Carolina lawmakers voted to remove the Confederate flag from the State House grounds, forced party leaders to pull the bill to defuse the situation. Were they going to have a riot in the House? What defuse? I do not want this to become some political football, says House Speaker John Boehner. I want members on both sides of the aisle to sit down and let's have a conversation about how to address what, frankly, has become a very thorny issue. Yeah. The House had been debating the annual Interior Appropriations Bill, which sets funding for Interior Department, the Environmental Protection Agency, the Forest Service, the Smithsonian Institution, and other agencies that we don't know about. During the debate on the bill this week, the House approved without opposition a trio of amendments restricting the Confederate flag, including one by Rep. Hakeem Jeffries, an Al-Qaeda from Detroit. Now, of course, to prohibit federal funds for the purchase or display of the flag on any lands overseen by the National Park Service, and two amendments by Rep. Jared Huffman, Democrat of California, to prohibit the use of flags on graves or Confederate soldiers and to ban the Park Service from selling merchandise with the flag imagery on it. Wow. Who are they to say what we put on our grave? Really?
They get crazy because all of a sudden nobody loves them.
Well, they're not getting any love from me. That's for sure there. Well, a block of Southern lawmakers took issue with the gravesite prohibition, in part because 10 Southern states observe Confederate Memorial Day, an official holiday where Confederate graves are often decorated for the day with the flag. In consultation with the GOP leaders, Calvert announced late Wednesday that there would be another flag amendment intended to clarify that the flag can indeed be displayed in narrow circumstances on parklands under guidelines established by the administration. According to the Interior Department guidelines, states that honor the Confederate memorial flag may permit groups at no public cost to decorate the graves of Confederate soldiers with small Confederate flags that must be, quote, removed from the graves as soon as possible following the holiday. Well, Calvert conceded that he should have conferred with the Democrats to explain the intent of the amendment. Looking back, I regret not conferring with my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, especially my ranking member, Belly McCollum, or, well, we could use her real name too, Betty McCollum. Yeah? Oh, Betty, nice. Thank you for calling Microsoft. How can I help you today?
Yes.
Belly McCollum, prior to... I said belly again. What the hell am I doing? Huh? I'm so sorry, sir. Well, Betty McCollum, prior to offering the leadership's amendment and fully explaining its intent, given the strong feelings members of the House feel regarding this important and sensitive issue, he said, a national debate over the Confederate flag was sparked, of course, last month following a mass shooting of 9 African Americans in South Carolina church, allegedly by Dylan Roof, while a white man who posed with the... Well, he actually posed with a bunch of apartheid flags, but... We won't go there because that's not an American agenda. Fly the Monsanto flag. Oh, and you know that's coming, too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, Monsanto, the only flag the Americans will fly. Yes. Well, finally today, in our big comeback week extravaganza, I guess you might want to call it something somehow. Yeah. We do indeed. We didn't want to do this episode without at least some little tiny Clinton news. So we've got some little tiny Clinton news. Yeah. And it's little tiny Clinton, of course, sparring with little tiny Jeb Bush. Yes, over longer hours. That's right. Jeb Bush and Hillary Clinton engaged in a tweet battle. Oh, yes, the epic tweet battle.
Yes.
Yes, over a Bush comment that, quote, people need to work longer hours. Oh, yes, that's going to win us over. Yeah. Well, Bush says that he was referring, of course, to the need to generate full-time jobs for people who currently can find only part-time work. Clinton and the Democrats accused the Florida Democrat of criticizing American workers. Quote, anyone who believes Americans aren't working hard enough hasn't met enough American workers, Clinton said after her 5-person coffee shop. Now, Clinton's post also included a chart showing that workers' hours are on the rise, in some cases much as 254%. Well, Bush responded on Twitter, quote, anyone who discounts 6.5 million people stuck in part-time work and seeking full-time jobs hasn't listened to the working Americans. During a meeting Wednesday with the Manchester, New Hampshire Union Leader newspaper, Bush said the U.S. needs more productive workforces that has been, of course, held back by government policies. No. Oh, well, workforce participation has to rise from its all-time modern lows, Bush said. It means that people need to work longer hours and, through their productivity, gain more income for their families. That's the only way we're going to get out of this rut that we're in. Well, Clinton and other Democrats pounced on the, quote, longer hours line. Bernie Sanders, yes, that old fart, who is, of course, challenging Clinton for the 2016 Democratic nomination and just might do it. Yes, he might beat Scooby-Doo. Well, he took to Twitter today to say, quote, Bush doesn't understand what's happening in our economy today. Americans already work the longest hours in the Western industrialized world. Tweeted to Bush Communications Director Tim Miller, my Uber driver to Manchester Airport, Kimberly, is trying to make extra dollars because she had trouble getting full-time work. I've got her now under the table, earning good. And oddly enough, that's exactly where the entire story ends. That's it.
The music is fantastic. Oh, you got to hear it.
Oh, all right. There's the music, Louie.
Yes.
That's right, gang. It is 4:34 in the p.m. in New York, and we are done for the day. I want to thank all the listeners out there in Spreakerland, Stitcherland, iHeartland, Podcast One, Universal Radio, all the lands out there. We're gonna. Thank you for listening to the show. Thank you, Louie, for being here as always.
I nearly got kicked out of a theater. I can't remember what I saw about 2 weeks ago because I was booing and screaming.
Right. Well, you keep up the good work. Yeah. Also, Gilbert, thank you again, bud, for being here. We'll catch you tomorrow.
Thank you for listening and support the show
for the love of God. That's my John Kerry laugh.
Yes.
Yes, and thank you, everybody. Sharon Chesley, Devlon Crawford, the intern, the topless intern, as he or she may be, shooting the shit with Paulie B, all the good stuff. It's all right here. Spreaker.com. Check it out. You missed it, dumbasses. That's okay. That's because I wasn't slinging it today.
Yes.
Rest assured, I'll be slinging it tomorrow. So, hey, tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, for your Friday Frappuccino 2-hour extravaganza to end your week with a kick in the testicles. That's right. We'll have that for you, so be sure to miss that one.
Yeah.
Or not miss that one.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, gang, from HTLA and all of us here, have yourselves a great one. We'll catch you tomorrow.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.